Hello and welcome. This is All 24 News program coming to you live from Algiers with me, Karim Zachary. These are your headlines. With prayers and flowers, Japan on Tuesday said farewell to Shinzo Abe, the country's longest-serving premier. Sri Lanka's parliament will elect a new president on July 20th after protesters stormed presidential residence. At least 7 people were killed in a Russian ammunition depot targeted by Ukrainian forces overnight. NASA released an image of far-flung galaxies as they were 30 billion years ago, the first glimpse from the most powerful telescope ever launched. Hello again to our World News program. First in our program, following a private funeral service on Tuesday, the hearse transporting the body of slain former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe proceeded through the heart of Tokyo. The Liberal Democratic Party headquarters, the Prime Minister's residence, and the Parliament building were among the notable structures that the hearse passed by. The parliamentary speaker of Sri Lanka said on Monday that Parliament will reconvene on July 15th. A new president will be elected on July 20th. Hossein Burkan with the story.
The Speaker of the Sri Lankan Parliament announced on Monday that the next head of state will be elected on July 20 after President Gotabaya fled under pressure from protesters who accused him of having plunged the country in a serious economic and financial crisis.
Nominations for the next president will be presented to Parliament on 19th July. On 20th July, Parliament will vote to elect a new president. During the party leaders' meeting held today, it was agreed that this was essential to ensure new all-party government is in place in accordance with the constitution and to take forward essential services.
Sri Lanka is in a political vacuum for 3 consecutive days, with opposition leaders yet to agree on who should replace its roundly rejected leaders. Protesters remained in President Gotabaya residency, his seaside office, and the Prime Minister's official home, which they stormed on Saturday, demanding the 2 leaders to step down.
Actually, we need a change. Change means system change, socially and economic. But especially, we like to introduce so many tourists to our Sri Lanka. Especially, they like our culture and people. So we hope very nearly it can be changed.
Colombo defaulted on its 51 billion foreign debt in April and is in talks with the International Monetary Fund for possible bailout. Sri Lanka has almost exhausted its gasoline reserves, and the government has ordered the closure of non-essential offices and schools to reduce travel and save fuel.
Moving on now, Australia's foreign minister urged on Tuesday Pacific Island neighbours to unite on their shared challenges of US-China strategic competition, climate change and COVID-19 after the Micronesian state of Kiribati split from the 18-nation organization in a major blow to regional harmony.
As you know, there have been a lot of discussions about Pacific Island Forum unity. And the position the Australian government has consistently taken is we were seeking to support whatever the consensus could deliver, because the most important thing was to ensure that at this time, in a contested world, in a world confronting climate, COVID and the economic recovery from COVID, that the forum remained united.
To Algeria now. Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune arrived on Tuesday morning at the military academy in Cherchell to supervise the annual graduation ceremony for the batches. Upon his arrival at the academy, the President of the Republic made a note of mercy for the soul of the late President Houari Boumediene. The President of the Republic laid a wreath of flower at the memorial monument under the name of the late president at the Academy. After the joint decision of Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune and his Tunisian counterpart Qais Said to reopen the land borders between the two countries from July 15th, Algerian Interior Minister, accompanied by his Tunisian counterpart, attended the latest preparations for the implementation of the decision at the border post in the province of At-Tarif. On this occasion, the Algerian Minister of Interior confirmed that all necessary measures have been taken to ensure the movement of citizens of the two countries in good conditions. The Italian city of Florence hosted the European Solidarity event for European cities with Western Sahara. The event witnessed the participation of many local authorities and friendship associations with the Sahrawi people and representatives of dozens of European municipalities and bodies in solidarity with Western Sahara. In his annual report, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres stated that the Zionist entity or occupying forces killed 78 people and rendered 982 others disabled in the occupied territories in 2021. Nearly 19,000 children in 21 nations have been mistreated, according to the top UN officials' report. To the Russia-Ukraine file now, a Russian ammunition depot was apparently targeted by Ukrainian forces overnight, resulting in a massive blast. The Ukrainian military's southern command said that the rocket strike targeted a depot in Russian-held Nova Kakhovka, east of the important Black Sea port city of Kherson, also occupied by Russian forces. Russian state news agency TASS said that at least 7 people were killed in the attack. Still with the same file, Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, condemned Canada on Monday for allowing the delivery of a gas turbine to Germany in order to help resolve technical concerns with the Nord Stream 1 pipeline that were mentioned by a Russian energy provider.
First,
the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had to summon Canada's representative to our country due to an absolute and acceptable exception to the sanctions regime against Russia. This is not just about the turbine for the Nord Stream gas pipeline, which Canada was not supposed to but nevertheless decided to transfer actually to Russia. This is about general rules of sanctions. If a terrorist state can squeeze out such an exception to sanctions, what exceptions will it want tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? This question is very dangerous. Moreover, it is dangerous not only to Ukraine, but also for countries of the democratic world.
An unsettling military buildup is occurring along Ukraine's border with Belarus. Russian soldiers and weaponry are reportedly waiting and ready to launch a new front against Ukraine in Belarus, according to Western intelligence services. This would put a significant strain on Kiev's defenses. Russian Foreign Ministry said that the United States and its allies putting the world on the brink of a nuclear war. This came in a statement by the spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, Maria Zakharova, this morning on the ministry's websites, where she said Washington and its allies, after exacerbating the Ukrainian crisis and unleashing a hybrid fierce confrontation with Russia, are vacillating today. It is on the brink of an open military confrontation with our country, which means a direct armed conflict with nuclear powers. NATO and European Union member Latvia plans to gradually raise its defense budget to 2.5% of gross domestic product by 2025 from around 2% now, as it boosts security after its neighbor Russia sent troops into Ukraine in late February. Latvia also might introduce compulsory military service for its citizens regardless of their gender. The exchange rate between the euro and the US dollar is the same on Tuesday for the first time in 20 years. As of Tuesday morning, 1 euro is equal to exactly $1, meaning that the value of the euro is down by over 12% compared to its value at the beginning of the year. US President Joe Biden gave a speech on Monday at the White House to showcase a new law meant to reduce gun violence, saying the measure represents real progress after years of stagnancy. But he also acknowledged that more has to be done in a country awash in weapons of war, as the new law already has been overshadowed by yet another horrific mass shooting.
What we're doing here today is real, it's vivid, it's relevant. The action we take today is a step designed to make our nation the kind of nation we should be. It's about the most fundamental of things, the lives of our children, of our loved ones. We face literally a moral choice in this country, moral choice with profound real-world implications. Will we take wise steps to fulfill the responsibility to protect the innocent and while keeping faith with the constitutional rights?
Cuba marked on Monday the first anniversary of some unusual and controversial demonstrations that opponents of the government considered the beginning of the end of the revolution on the island, but the government recalls it as a defeat of a soft coup.
If there is something we have to celebrate, it is the victory of the Cuban people, the Cuban Revolution, in the face of the attempt of what they wanted to turn into a soft coup, which was not a soft coup at all. It was a vandalic coup, and that was defeated.
Four-time Olympic champion Mo Farah has disclosed he was brought into Britain illegally from Djibouti under the name of another child. Farah, who became the first British track and field athlete to win 4 Olympic golds, said his children have motivated him to be truthful about his past. A crowded field of contenders is competing to replace Boris Johnson as the next Conservative Party leader and British Prime Minister. Islam said with the story.
A crowded field of contenders is competing to replace Boris Johnson as the next Conservative Party leader and British Prime Minister.
As of today, there are about 11 candidates who've put themselves forward to stand to be leader of the Conservative Party and thus Prime Minister.
11 contenders are now determined to set themselves apart from the perceived front-runner to be the Conservative Party next leader, including former Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak, who so far has the backing of more than 36 lawmakers, ahead of Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt, Sajid Javid and Foreign Secretary Liz Truss. The latter has been supported by Culture Secretary and Brexit Minister, who both announced they would back Truss's candidacy and said she was a bigger Brexiteer than both of them. On the other hand, Trade Minister Penny Mordaunt is regarded by bookmakers as a party favourite to win.
Why so many, you might ask? Well, it's a mixture of some who genuinely think they can win or want to win and think they can win, and others who are positioning themselves, wanting to show they have a support base so they get a reasonable chance of a position in a future cabinet.
The new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom to replace Boris Johnson will be announced on the 5th of September, and the first round of voting will be held on Wednesday. The contenders will need to receive 30 votes to enter the second ballot scheduled for Thursday.
The process that is used by the Conservative Party involves the so-called 1922 committee, which is a group of the backbench MPs, effectively now though all MPs.
It's worth mentioning that Johnson, who won a landslide victory in general elections in 2019, lost support after he was caught in a string of scandals.
Angola's government high officials opened the signing of a condolence book on Monday for former President José Eduardo dos Santos, who died on Friday following a long illness. Dos Santos ruled Angola for almost 40 years. It's worth mentioning that Lourenço has declared 5 days of mourning following the death of the former
Tivemos essa caminhada
We worked together until we reached peace in the country. We started the national reconciliation. National unity was established, and he began the national reconstruction of our country. These are remarkable and unforgettable moments.
Moving on now, several Chinese cities are wrestling with extreme summer heat waves and heavy rainfall, which caused havoc across the country. The heat wave in Shanghai has drove residents to seek the cool in public water fountains and raid shelters underground. Authorities said the extreme weather which the country struggles with is considered the hottest and wettest of the year.
This year, the heat has arrived a little earlier than before. Although it's just July, I feel the warm weather has already reached its peak. It's not this hot in previous year at this time. Basically, you need to turn on the air conditioner when you get home and put on some sunscreen when we go out.
Homes and businesses are increasing their use of air conditioners to escape the heat wave as high temperatures scorch the state of Texas. However, the growing use of power in the state has also caused outage frequently this year. Operator ERCOT, which stands for the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, warned of a potential shortage in reserves with no easy fix.
Most states in the United States are part of larger regional grids. So the states of like Oklahoma or Louisiana, when they have a power shortage, can import power from neighboring states. Or if they have excess power, can export that power to the other states. For the most part, Texas can't. We're on our own. And that's because we're afraid of the federal regulators and don't want federal regulators looking at our market too much.
Still with the problem of heat waves and drought, but this time in the Middle East, Iraq is experiencing severe drought and water shortages as neighboring Turkey and Iran go through with irrigation and dam projects, decreasing the flow of water to Iraq. Sofian Kinturi with more details.
Due to the abuse of water for agriculture and construction of dams in Turkey and Iran, farmers in the south and central Iraq are suffering as a result of the low water flows in the nation's rivers. The threat of climate change has led to record low rainfall, frequent storms, and rising temperatures around the country, which have all contributed to the drought conditions in Iraq.
The drought rate has exceeded 50 or 60%. Of course, if this rate continues to the end of the year, with no rain and water inflows, the drought will certainly get worse.
The Shibaish marches in the south, according to farmer and buffalo herder Razak Jabbar, are in critical state due to low water levels and high salinity in the remaining water.
Today we are in a very embarrassing and difficult situation, especially for those living in the marshes. Why? Because the salinity level has increased, the depth of the water has gone down from 2 meters or 1.8 meters to no more than 40 centimeters.
Iraq is dry due to below average rainfall and a lack of water in the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. Large areas of agriculture are being destroyed by the dry weather in Iraq, and many farmers are being forced to sell their cattle.
And last but not least in our news, NASA unveiled the first full-color image from the James Webb Space Telescope on Monday evening that was celebrated by US President Joe Biden.
Following a presidential sneak peek of galaxy-studded image from deep in the cosmos, NASA was due on Tuesday to unveil more of its initial showcase from the James Webb Space Telescope, the largest and the most powerful orbital observatory ever launched. The first image from the 10 billion James Webb Space Telescope is the farthest humanity has ever seen in both time and distance, closer to the dawn of time and the edge of the universe.
You're seeing galaxies that are shining around other galaxies whose light has been bent, and you're seeing just a small little portion of the universe.
That image will be followed Tuesday by the release of 4 more galactic beauty shots from the telescope's initial outward gases. President Joe Biden released the first full-color image from NASA's James Webb Telescope during a public event at the White House in Washington, claiming that they could see possibilities that no one has ever seen before.
These images are going to remind the world that America can do big things. And they remind the American people, especially our children, that there's nothing beyond our capacity. Nothing beyond our capacity.
The first full-color image from NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, a revolutionary apparatus designed to peer through the cosmos to the dawn of the universe, shows the galaxy cluster SMACS 0723, known as Webb's first deep field, in a composite made from images at different wavelengths taken with a near-infrared camera released July 11.
Well, that's all we have for now, but here is a reminder of our top stories. With prayers and flowers, Japan on Tuesday said farewell to Shinzo Abe, the country's longest-serving premier. Sri Lanka's parliament will elect a new president on July 20th after protesters stormed presidential residence. You also followed at least 7 people were killed in a Russian ammunition depot targeted by Ukrainian forces overnight. And finally, as you followed in our news, NASA released an image of far-flung galaxies as they were 13 billion years ago, the first glimpse from the most powerful telescope ever launched. We reached the end of our program. This is Karim Faz Zachary signing off. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.